Today on the Morning Edition, two young men have tragically died in what's being called an enclosed space incident aboard a tugboat near Ketchikan. We spoke to their families and share how they're remembering their lost loved ones. Plus, the Anchorage School District redistricting is taking some by surprise as they realize that the changes go far beyond elementary schools. We share how this is affecting some. And later, this may look like a beloved Disney character walked straight out of the movie screen, but that's probably because it's supposed to look like that. We'll find out how engineers managed to make this incredible lifelike Olaf as the Morning Edition starts now. Good Thursday morning, everyone. Tomorrow is the official start of spring, and it feels like Olaf should be here right now because winter is really not wanting to let go.
Yeah, maybe we need to put out a post for Elsa, someone capture her, something.
Maybe so.
We do have some good news. Warmer weather will gradually build back in across the state as we officially welcome in spring. It's going to be a slow warming trend, but I will promise you, as we welcome in the weekend and on into next week, we have a stretch of 20s that will build in across South Central. Even some areas of South Central will warm into the 30s as we close out this week and welcome in next week. But as far as this morning, we are waking up to those single-digit lows across a good portion of South Central. We do have a light breeze, which is keeping our wind chill right around 2 below. So still holding on to some unseasonably cold weather as we continue to progress through March. And we did see some light snow accumulation through the night. We're still holding on to that area of low pressure out towards eastern parts of Prince William Sound. We're going to see some of the heaviest activity remaining through Prince William Sound, but most of that energy is really building out towards southeast, where we have multiple winter weather alerts that remain in effect for the Panhandle, where we could see several inches of snow accumulation. So we've got winter weather advisories, winter storm warnings, and yes, we do have some winter weather advisories across South Central. This is more for coastal areas from Prince William Sound out towards eastern areas of the Kenai as you head through Turnagain Pass. This is where we could see 6 to 12 inches with localized amounts up to 18 inches of snow accumulation. And then as you head through southern parts of the Copper Valley as well as out towards Valdez and Cordova, we could see about 3 to 8 inches of snow accumulation. So we'll be watching for that throughout the day and into tomorrow. Those temperatures will warm into the teens. You can see we'll hold on to that slight chance for snow across western parts of South Central through at least the middle of the afternoon. And today is going to provide a lot more cloud coverage across South Central. Really today and into early tomorrow is our only chance of seeing some snow as we close out the week. And then next week we are going to see that slow warming trend and much drier weather, which will make a return to South Central. So coming up in my full forecast, we are going to be talking about that snow across South Central. We're also chasing snowiest season for Juneau. Gusty winds still with us across the state. And we've been talking about this slow warming. I'll have that 7-day forecast to show you just that slow warming pattern coming up.
One, a fisherman who grew up on the docks. The other, a mechanic who never missed a chance to say, I love you. Danny Tompkins spoke with the families of two young men killed in a boating incident near Ketchikan about who they were and how they'll be remembered.
There you go.
The family of Ben Fowler say he'd been fishing since he was a young boy. He turned 21 about a month before Sunday. His crewmate, Sydney Mahorovich, was 28 and supposed to get married in June. On Sunday morning, both died in a confined space incident on a tugboat, according to the Coast Guard, who said they responded about 25 miles northwest of Ketchikan with local volunteer firefighters.
Our forecast reader showed very little oxygen in the hold.
Fire Chief Steve Rydeen said 2 other crew members survived. While the cause is under investigation, Jewel Fowler remembers her little brother Ben as having a great love for fishing.
He was just so, he was just your classic, small town Alaskan little boy. He was just running around on the fishing docks all the time and his extra tufts.
Jewel says Ben was known for his energy, his humor, and his heart.
He was so goofy. He loved making people laugh all the time.
And Sydney was a mechanic from Washington State, according to his parents and fiance, only planning to be in Alaska for a week.
The net that his life cast out was very far-reaching.
I wish he was still here. He had my whole heart. He was so excited for us to get married and for us to spend the rest of our lives together.
Both families say Ben and Sydney left marks that words can barely hold.
He was a good person. He cared a lot about people.
Sydney's mom, Eva, mirrors those sentiments.
He loved like no other. He was just
And his smile.
And his smile lit up the room.
Yeah.
They knew when Sid was in the house.
And they always knew when he was leaving, too.
His signature goodbye was always, I love you guys a lot.
Sydney's fiance left us with a simple request. Hold your loved ones close, because that's exactly what he did. Danny Tompkins, Alaska's news source.
Danny and our digital reporter Josiah Pike did some additional reporting on this story. You can find that right now on our website or download our free Alaska's News Source app. Several families lost their homes after a multifamily fire in Anchorage's Mountain View neighborhood near Lane Avenue. Firefighters got to the scene just after 3 Wednesday afternoon. A witness at a nearby business tells us she watched crews help rescue a woman along with her dog from the building. The Red Cross opened a shelter for those displaced to spend the night. In Fairbanks, university officials are pushing back on rumors that one of its most important cultural programs is going away. The school posted a clarification on its website after rumors online claimed the Alaska Native Language Center was losing funding, staff, and programs. The center in the Brooks building documents and preserves Alaska Native languages and employs 3 staff members plus faculty. The dean of the College of Indigenous Studies, Tisha Simmons, says the center's budget is not being cut this year.
I don't know where the rumor came from or started, but I was just as surprised by the op-ed and the, what we saw on social media as everybody else. I'm very passionate about our languages and, having access to learning them. And so, yeah, if I saw something on social media like that as well, I would very likely be tempted to press the share button.
Simmons also dismissed a rumor that the Alaska Native Language Archive was closing, saying the department recently applied for a $100,000 grant to modernize it. Recent school closures and consolidations in Anchorage triggered boundary changes that stretch beyond elementary schools. Joe Allgood spoke to a family who says they are just now finding out what that means.
Verena Gill's daughter, Juniper, is a Handshoe Middle School student, so when ASD was talking about repurposing her old elementary school,
And I didn't see anything that would impact us and dug around, looked at things. And then on Monday, I received an email telling me that there could be changes.
But then she got a voicemail on Tuesday from her daughter's school.
I want you to explain the options that you have. Option 1 is remain at your current school with no district transportation. And option 2 is attend your neighborhood school, which will be Golden View with transportation provided.
ASD responded to our questions about the messages, saying they were shared earlier this week after students and staff returned from spring break. They also said they informed parents through studies, emails, reminders, and surveys when the boundary changes were first discussed and approved.
I had not received any surveys or questionnaires or emails or anything prior to that talking about the possibility of students at Handshoe and Service being redistricted. And when I did finally get a hold of a map, it still was not clear that it included Handshoe and Service.
And on the hillside?
Yeah, you saw these windy, twisty, icy roads. I've often sat at the bus stop on the corner there, and moose have gone by. And I fear moose way more than I fear bears, but we have plenty of bears around here.
Gill doesn't feel comfortable with her daughter walking, but maybe the most frustrating part.
Yeah, not to sound like Sarah Palin, I can see Service from my deck.
And she's right. You can see Service from the deck of her house, and over my right shoulder is Handshoe Middle School.
I'll miss a lot of things about Handshoe. I really do like it at Handshoe. It's really nice, I have all my friends there. I love the ski team and all the running teams that they have. And all the teachers and everybody there is just really nice.
And Juniper was hoping to attend Service just like her older sister. And at the core of it all,
Give us more time. Give us months of time to reflect, to think. I had basically 4 hours from getting the phone call to realizing I better scoot over to the school board meeting and tell them what I think.
Joe Allgood, Alaska's news source.
Gill said that ASD has given parents like her until April 1st to make a decision. The Interior Department says a new oil and gas lease sale in the National Petroleum Reserve brought in a historic more than $163 million in one day. Federal officials say 187 leases were sold, covering about 1.3 million acres. The state of Alaska is expected to receive about half the revenue, roughly $82 million, with some funds going to North Slope communities. The Bureau of Land Management says the sale is the first in the reserve since 2019. Alaska's congressional delegation celebrated the results of the sale. Environmental groups suing to limit the scope of the sale expressed concern about the impacts of development in the area to wildlife and subsistence living. Still ahead today on the Morning Edition, Jesse Holmes, a name that's becoming as common here as large celebrity names like Taylor Swift and Bad Bunny, maybe. Our Jordan Rodenberger caught up with him to hear what it means to him to be a repeat champion and more. We'll share that conversation next.
We're still holding on to some snow showers across South Central. I'll have more on that, what to expect in terms of accumulation. But first at sunrise, 8:03 in Anchorage, 7:01 in June.
Welcome back in. 14 minutes past the hour on this Thursday morning. A little over 24 hours, Aaron, and we'll be entering spring officially. What can we expect weather-wise? Still cold?
It's still going to be cold, but we will begin to see a slow warming trend across the state. Of course, spring officially begins at 6:46 tomorrow morning. We are watching some light accumulation building into South Central through the day. Of course, we did see some of that accumulation through the night. And then that slow warming we've been advertising this week ramps up starting tomorrow. Of course, we're already beginning to see some areas of the state with temperatures slightly warmer compared to this time yesterday. And of course, we're also still seeing waves of snow building into southeast where we could see several more inches of snow accumulation. As of this morning, Juneau is comfortably sitting at the fourth snowiest season on record. 31 below in Fairbanks, 8 degrees in Anchorage, 20 below in Kotzebue along the slope. We've got those temperatures anywhere from about 29 to 35 below. So still holding on to some cold conditions across the state. But again, starting tomorrow, we will begin to see a slow warming trend. It's going to take some time, but by the end of next week, we certainly will begin to notice those temperatures really warming across the state. There's that area of low pressure that remains with us across Prince William Sound. And of course, our ridge still with us across western parts of the state, really out towards the western Aleutians as well as the Bering. And our active weather is for Prince William Sound as well as out towards southeast. So we're going to see some of the heaviest snowfall today remaining through Prince William Sound, Middleton Island, Valdez, Cordova, southern parts of the Copper Valley. And then as you head across eastern parts of the Kenai, down through Turnagain Pass, Summit Pass, this is where we could see several more inches of snow accumulation. Now, due to the nature of the waves of snow that we're seeing with this storm system, we're only going to hold on to the occasional passing snow shower for western parts of the region. Should we see that throughout the day, it'll amount to about half an inch, if not some locally heavier amounts. But we're not talking about any significant snow across the bulk of South Central outside of Prince William Sound and eastern parts of the Kenai, which will end the day and into tomorrow with several inches of snow accumulation. And then you can see more widespread snow and wintry mix, which will remain with southeast as the week draws to a close and we welcome in the weekend. But when it comes to that snowfall across South Central, notice western fringes will see very light snowfall activity. And this is adding on to what we did see through the night. And then as you head through Whittier, Valdez, Cordova, out towards Girdwood, eastern parts of the Kenai, this is again where we're going to see some of that heavier snowfall. Would not be surprised out towards Whittier if we see up to a foot of snow accumulation, while Girdwood could see about 6 to 10 inches of that snow accumulation, if not some locally higher amount. So we will see some fresh powder out towards Alyeska, but we are going to be watching that potential for that snow staying with us today and possibly into tomorrow for coastal regions. So we're going to see that heaviest snowfall for the coast. You can see temperatures today in the teens and 20s for many areas, while Cordova will make a run right around 30 degrees. And of course, we are going to continue to hold on to that slow warming, which officially begins as we welcome in the spring season. You can see that sunrise tomorrow at 7:59, a sunset of 8:15. That is the official start of our spring. And you can see those temperatures topping out at 23 degrees tomorrow. And we're going to stay in the mid to upper 20s as we head through next week. The final week, or the final full week of March, looks to bring the potential that we could see some areas warming near freezing by the end of next week.
It's a repeat. Jesse Holmes crossed the finish line a champion again, making it 2 years in a row. Jordan Rodenberger was in Nome and talked with Holmes one-on-one just hours after the victory.
Jesse, after what I'm sure was minimal rest overnight, have you had any chances or moments to reflect on the victory and what it's meant to you over the last 24 hours?
Oh man, this last 24 hours has been the most amazing 24 hours of my life. And the key thing that, this year I feel very satisfied. I'm letting myself soak this in. I'm not, I got another race ahead of me, but I'm looking forward to that and it's fun. But, I'm really just here to soak this in, give all my time to the people and the fans and the community. And what an amazing trip it was,
Hard to believe it's just a few years ago, 2022, in Gullivan, you were helping after a storm damage cleanup and had suffered serious injuries throughout that. Just how incredible is it to be where you are today at the height of your career just a few short years ago where you were?
Yeah, that was a life-changing event for me and for the better, like I dug deep, through that time and I learned what I was really made of and what a blessing life was and how much I wanted to live and how much I believed in what I was doing. So, I might have come back for a couple of years physically weaker, but I became mentally stronger. And, adversity's a privilege if you want to do great things.
You mentioned your nose took a beating there and just physically what it took to get this done.
Yeah, lot of, ski poling, running up the hills, feet hurt, my nose about froze off and my lips frostbit, but it's all worth it,
You do enjoy the remote lifestyle aspect of it. You do seem to enjoy the social aspect of what comes with this, the cameras, the fan interaction. Just talk about that little balance there and what you enjoy about that part.
Well, that's just called being a good champion, and I want to, I'm so humbled that I have so many fans that, wish me so well that I just have all the time in the world for them, It's, I don't get a lot of social interaction where I live, so I look at it as, a blessing to fill my cup full while I'm here, in the communities that we get to go through.
Jesse Holmes, the 2026 Iditarod champion. Jordan Rodenberger, Alaska's News Source.
Find the full interview on our streaming platforms. Just download our app on your Apple TV, Roku, or Amazon Fire Stick. Well, after hearing more from this year's winner about his struggles along the trail and his perseverance to rise above those challenges, now Georgina Fernandez covers that same finish from a different perspective through the eyes of the fans.
Nome grows by thousands during Iditarod week, and while we see mushers from all over the world coming out to compete, we also see fans from everywhere coming to cheer them on. The streets of downtown Nome were blocked, and festive fans packed Front Street on St. Patrick's Day night, waiting anxiously for the 2026 champion to arrive. Are you ready? That's an easy question to answer.
This is a dream come true, to be here in Alaska Nome.
As the jingle dog collars finally hit Front Street Tuesday night.
The energy in the air it's like it's electric. You're so happy for him.
The nearly 1,000-mile wait.
And we've been following him on the tracker so we could kind of see where he was at, so we knew when to be out here.
Finally, he's here, and race fans couldn't get enough.
Jesse! Jesse! Jesse!
Jesse Holmes and his team of 12 dogs cross under the Burled Arch for the second straight year.
Oh, it's emotional. You're so happy for him. He's worked so hard, and he loves those dogs so much.
And that energy carried well into the early hours of Wednesday morning when Travis Mules rolled in 4.5 hours behind the winner.
It's just an electric energy.
And once the sun was back up on Wednesday morning, so were the fans.
Oh yeah, we're Ryan Reddington fans. We're excited to see him come in hopefully later on this evening.
And sound of dogs barking with excitement will again fill the air. And with over a dozen teams still on the trail, the excitement will continue here for several days and nights on Front Street. Georgina Fernandez, Alaska's News Source.
And just in this morning, Iditarod has crowned a Rookie of the Year. Jesse Terry, bib 29, won the award after crossing the finish line in 14th place overall at 3:36 this morning in 10 days, 23 hours, 36 minutes with 12 dogs in harness. The Rookie of the Year award presented by the Peldiak family comes with a beautiful trophy that will be presented at the finishers banquet, as well as an additional cash prize of $2,000. 16 teams remain on the trail. Thanks for listening to our podcast. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcasts from Alaska's news source automatically. And stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting. Available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's news source app.